it was less about having perfect clarity. It was about getting to this space where, you know what, I don't need perfect clarity. I can navigate through uncertainty. I can keep going
without somebody telling me what to do,
without somebody giving me very clear instructions, without it being, hardwired into my plan for exactly how things should go.
Yeah.
That's self-leadership.
Welcome to The Mindful Agent, where real estate success meets health, mindfulness, and personal growth. Join me, Michael Coxon, top performing agent and broker owner of Magenta Real Estate, as I explore the intersection of wellness and business excellence, helping you thrive in both real estate and life. Today, we're exploring a powerful idea that sits right at the intersection of mindset and action. My guest is Lisa Nelsen, a communication strategist, nonprofit leader, and the founder of The Effort Gap. Lisa believes the biggest obstacle standing between what we know and what we do is not lack of knowledge, but how we manage the space between intention and action. In this conversation, we dive into why loneliness is rising, even in our hyper-connected world, how self-doubt can be both a friend and a foe, and why the key to growth isn't perfect clarity, but self-leadership. Love that term. So whether you're an agent navigating a tough market, an entrepreneur chasing the next level, or someone simply trying to show up as your best self, this episode will help you bridge the gap between knowing better and doing better. Let's get into it with Lisa Nelsen. First of all, welcome to The Mindful Agent.
Thank you. I'm really happy to be here.
I'm happy you're here. You have been you worked with me first, but I was going to say you're a friend first because you are a friend first. We immediately became friends, even though we worked together.
Yeah.
True story.
It's true. Confirmed.
Yeah. You're what I like to call PLU, people like us. So
I love that.
My wife and I had a company. Lisa was our project manager, and she is and was and forever will be PLU. So I saw that you relaunched a brand. Lisa's been out there in the nonprofit space. She's been out there teaching students. And really just your perspective on social media and in our private conversations, I've always appreciated. So when you launched this new brand, The Effort Gap, I had to reach out and invite you. So thank you for coming.
Thank you. And I'm so glad you did.
What is The Effort Gap?
So the effort gap is kind of the space between knowing better and doing better. So I think a lot of our self-help literature has led us in this. And I am also a very major consumer of
Guilty.
that, have been for a very long time. But I'm finding that as we face a loneliness epidemic, where over 60% of young people report feeling profoundly lonely, I think the major missing piece is the fact that we don't actually grow alone. And I think we are in this space where we're doing a lot of self-reflecting, we're getting to the awareness piece, but not so sure on how to actually put that into practice in action. And we're kind of left more isolated and kind of relationally unsure of ourselves than ever before. So the effort gap is really here to close that space and help people take that awareness and put it into action in their lives.
So, I mean, there is a gap between, where we are and where we want to be. Is that what you're saying as far as like what our intentions are and the actual act of doing it?
Yes.
And is that the effort? Like, is that the point? The effort is what bridges the gap?
It is. I get a little stuck on like where we want to be because I don't think there's a lot of fixed destinations in life either. So I think it's more about like how we want to consistently show up over time and over various situations, right? Because where we want to be might change like a few years from now. So the key is like, what are those values and how are you living into them? And how are you being adaptive to changing circumstances, life goals, environmental factors, social factors? How are we being adaptive as well? And just being like mindful, present humans instead of like rigidly fixed on an end goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, so 60% are reporting profound loneliness. And then the go-getter in me goes, well, do something about it. I mean, what is it about that large percentage of people that continues to perhaps accept loneliness?
Yeah, I mean, the do something about it piece is the effort gap. Like what, because there's a lot of things that go into what contributed to this loneliness epidemic, many of which are out of our control. So by no means by effort gap do I mean you just need to like work harder or like Like you're
Suck
not
it
doing
up.
enough. It's not like a bootstraps argument, right? Like pick
Mm,
yourself up and do it anyway. Like it's more so what is in our control. There is a component of the loneliness epidemic that is in our control. Some not so much. Like the digital era is like not going anywhere. There's like kind of these built-in opportunities to just decide to stay home and work from home. Like those things are kind of like that's just the way things unfolded. Things are progressing that way. But there's other components that are like, okay, well, how can I show up more? How can I put more effort towards building relationships or doing things that kind of make the soul happy or contribute to communities? And one of the things that really inspired the effort gap that I think can help me articulate this better is Aristotle's work around defining morality. And a lot of ancient Greek philosophers looked at morality more as doing activities that are good for humankind.
mm.
So, how are you spending your time? Are you, putting effort towards things that either nourish your soul or contribute in some way to the human good, the collective good? And I love that because we're not talking about like to be moral means like a complete character overhaul or like you need to work harder or you need to fix something about yourself, but rather how can we focus on like what we're doing and how we're contributing? And I think by doing that, it already takes some of that pressure off around like just being like so anxious all the time because we're living in our heads a lot.
Yeah, and you touched upon like social media and technology. I think does that where like you see all these people doing these things in their highlight reels, and it can be very discouraging when you're sitting on your couch lonely. And what's supposed to make us more connected has made us disconnected. That was the
Mhm.
unintended consequence of this whole thing. And then throw in a
Exactly.
pandemic, obviously, where there was forced loneliness in a sense and
Yeah.
isolation, where we further went into our devices. And
Mhm.
it's a serious thing. I mean, you see it mostly I think in younger people. From my personal experience, like millennials and up, which I am on the cusp of millennial, we had a childhood without a
Yeah.
pandemic and without technology. So I think our brains developed and we were social creatures, which we still are. But the
Mhm.
generations beneath me did not have those things. I mean, is that the cause in your opinion?
I think that's part of the cause. I think it's multifaceted, but that certainly plays a role. Like we were out there building stuff and riding bikes off stuff. Like it's amazing. I haven't broken any bones.
Scraping knees, right?
Yeah, like spending a lot of time outside, spending a lot of time with other kiddos. That I think was true for us more so than the current generation for many reasons.
Yeah. So there is that your main focus. I think people is that your I guess main target demographic. Do you find in your work that it is younger people who need your help?
It's actually a really wide net.
Okay.
A lot of like even just people pretty established in their professions have, self-doubting beliefs, self-limiting beliefs, like
True.
trouble acting on things, trouble sticking to things. I think it's something that's
Yeah. I
affects
mean,
all of us.
there is that old midlife crisis thing too, right?
Yeah.
Where somebody perhaps is successful, quote unquote, house, kids, money in the bank, but they're not doing that moral work. They're not fulfilling the morality of life. And they maybe have a
Mhm.
calling that they never did because it didn't make money or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You talk about the gap is between like intention, like what I want to do, and action to get there.
Uh-huh.
So, I think for me, I think of self awareness and like noticing our own thoughts. Is that kind of step one to closing the gap?
Yeah, it's interesting because I did a lot of thinking about kind of structuring like where that fits in because awareness has a role, but it's a small part of it, right? Like
Okay.
awareness is a step, but I actually don't think it's a linear journey.
Hmm.
It's a constant cycle of introspection and effort that can be sustained over time. So I think it's the way I organize it is you need three things to carry you through any endeavor in
Hmm.
life, like whatever that goal may change, whatever it is you're pursuing, whatever career you're in. Like I find in my own very non-linear journey, where I had like such unique opportunities to enter different professions and try new skills and take on different endeavors, like the things that attribute to success in those things like always come down to the same three things, and that's having a clear mind, leading yourself, and connecting with people. And so I present it as more like intrinsic circles
Yeah.
because it's like a feedback loop. Like you
Hmm.
you take the action and then you see how it resonates with people and then you might adapt or you might double down. Like
Yeah.
it's a process of discernment.
Starting with a clear mind.
Mhm.
How does one get a clear mind? You said something that very casually that is nearly impossible to do. How do we get a clear mind?
Yeah, it's tough, especially now. Like we are constantly drowning in information and sponsored opinions and podcasts and look over here and look over
Yep.
there. Like
Yeah.
we are drowning in content. Like information overload is at its peak.
Yeah. I love a great quote. If more information was the answer, we'd all have six pack abs and be billionaires.
Yes, exactly. It's
It's the
not.
action.
Yes, it's not more so clear. The clarity of mind is actually not a process of needing more of anything. You don't need more information, more preparation, more strategizing, more readiness.
Yeah.
You actually need, it's usually a process of reduction. You need less distraction, like reducing the noise. Like
Yeah.
it's
So
more a
getting
process of
clear on
reduction.
what we want, the intention, right?
Yeah.
Because I know it's not linear as you mentioned, but there's got to be some destination, at least we're working towards in the current moment, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like start with that clear mind, setting my intention.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's true right now?
I'll speak to the audience who's in the real estate business. Maybe you want to get your real estate license. You're like, okay, what's true now is I want to get a real estate license. I don't like my current job. I want to be my own boss. I love real estate. I want to do this. So I have a clear mind. I've set my intention. Now what do I do next?
Well, do you have a clear mind? Because
As best as
comes
possible.
time to get so that's the journey you're on, and then you're about to take the test, and now you're like, I can't do this. I don't know about this. This feels hard, and that's like where people tend to hit their effort gap and like back out because
Okay.
things got hard, things got unclear, things got unexpected in some way. Like
Yep.
that's why you got to like stay in the game. Like the
Yeah.
clarity of mind isn't gonna retain all the time. Like
I got you.
you're gonna meet some new circumstance and it's gonna spiral you out of control.
Everyone has a
Like
plan until they get punched in the face, as Mike Tyson once said. So you're talking about just in every moment being able to clear your mind and reset when challenges come up. Because
yeah,
they're going to
it is a
come up.
constant practice. A clear mind is not something that you're gonna like achieve and like check that off your
Yeah,
list.
right. So I think many people feel that it's about expectations. Someone on this podcast actually said like planning to fail is part of the plan, and having speed bumps and how am I going to navigate them when they come, as opposed to like drawing out a linear plan that I hope to check things off as I go. And then
Yeah.
when I hit that wall about, oh, this test is hard, you go, oh, well, I planned for that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Clear mind. I expected to have this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. And that's actually where it kind of fuses into self-leadership. So
Mm.
you were able to lead yourself through that challenge. It was less about having perfect clarity. It was about getting to the space where, you know what, I don't need perfect clarity. I can navigate through uncertainty. Yes. I can keep going
without somebody telling me what to do.
Without somebody giving me very clear instructions, without it being, hardwired into my plan for exactly how things should go.
Yeah.
That's self-leadership.
Mm. Is that taught in schools?
I don't know if anything's taught in schools, let alone these skills.
You've worked with nonprofits with education, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I spent 4 years in education and maybe 7 total in various nonprofits.
Right. So you're saying nothing's taught in schools. A bit tongue in cheek, but also unfortunately true. I think, it's been stated many times that schools were designed to turn out good factory workers, to get kids out of factories so that they can ultimately go back into factories.
That was the original intention.
And not much has changed.
Yeah, industrial era had its purposes for school, and it hasn't changed much since then, unfortunately. I do see a lot of organizations making progress, especially towards this like modern day context of social skills and life skills. A lot of people in the education sector see that as at odds with academic knowledge.
Yeah.
But it's the things you need to put that academic knowledge into practice.
Yes.
So I think we're slowly getting to the point where there's more collaboration in that space.
I mean, self-leadership is not taught in school. It's the opposite. It's be here at this time when the bell rings, get up, sit down, get a hall pass, go to the bathroom with a pass and approval. Like that's anything but self-leadership. Right. Deadlines, due dates, pass the test. Not, okay, here's the curriculum. We're going to be tested on it. You figure out how to learn the lesson. That's not being taught.
Yeah.
Which is what life is. Unfortunately, you get out and say, okay, now go learn the lessons. Lead yourself through. It's like, wait a minute. You told me where to be and what to do for 18 years.
Right. So we're looking for people, we're looking for an authority figure, we're looking for somebody else to figure it out for us.
Yeah. And like as, automation occurs and artificial intelligence takes away jobs, like those type of get in line robotic type of
Hmm.
jobs that we have been trained to do are going to disappear. Like we're just doing a disservice to all people with this current system.
Yeah. And to be honest, there's also this, the thing that scares me the most isn't that reality, it's our okayness with that reality. Like we're almost at this point where we're like, okay, well, if I don't have to contribute and I can just like stay home and like hunker down, like that sounds good.
Hmm.
Like there's like this appeal to that. Like, and you hear people say that kind of stuff a lot, like, oh, it's people-y outside. Let's not, like there's a lot of expressions and like there's this cultural thing around like, well, don't make me socialize. Like, don't make me like be in front of people. Like there's such a universal disdain towards like community and relationships and putting in that effort that like that's what scares me the most is the idea that we're starting to actually find that very appealing. Like
Yeah.
we're shutting down and everybody's getting locked up at home. Like the amount of people who are like, that sounds cool.
Yeah. The acceptance.
Yeah, I was one of those people. Like as
Yeah.
somebody who identified as like an introvert for most of my life, I was like, this is kind of cool though, low key.
Yeah.
Like I get to just stay home and like not have to be around people. It sounds fun. Like, but then I'm like, why am I depressed?
Mhm.
So it's like, whether you're introverted or not, whether you like it or not, like we need human connection, just like we need to eat food.
Yeah.
So it's like that's where things get scary is when we pretend like we don't need it or
And
want it.
do you think a lot of that boils down to like self doubt and lack of self esteem to go out and talk to people? Is that a part of it?
I think that is a part of it because I think what stops us from engaging, or like oftentimes when we land at something like, no, I just don't like that, or I just don't want that, like we're pushing it away out of some kind of fear
Fear.
or some kind of feeling of inadequacy within ourselves. So it's easier to say no to things if we're like, well, that's just not good. I just don't like socializing, instead of how can I build social skills, or like what social skills am I lacking? Like that's a harder conversation to have. But how easy is it to just give yourself the out of like, who needs that? That's boring, or like I don't want to do that
Yeah, to
anyway.
make fun of it.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you teach people to build that self confidence while staying grounded and true to their selves?
Yeah. So as far as, the self doubt and things like that, because that is like a really common thing across all age groups. Like it doesn't go away. So like our task isn't to make that go away. And first of all, if you're self-doubting yourself, like you're my kind of human, because I do not want to live in a world where everyone's so sure of themselves. Like that sounds terrible. Like at the foundational level,
Everyone's a politician.
yeah, like no thank you. So if you are self-doubting, like that is the mark of a healthy and community-minded human and my type of human. So it's not something we need to rush in and immediately fix. It's something we do want to be cognizant of, because obviously you can overcorrect it to the point where like those beliefs are now making you not take any action or
Mhm.
stifling your progress. So I like to think of it as like, how do you actually build a better relationship with those thoughts as they come up? Because there's two ways to view them. They could be through this frame of almost like an outside consultant who's posing questions to keep you challenged, or like a new perspective you haven't thought about before. And you're like, ooh, yeah. And like those types of questions, those self questions, like that's what's gotten me through a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it is kind of fear based, but it also like propelled me through stuff, because I'm like constantly questioning it, because it comes from this place of like, am I doing a good job? And I think that's beautiful. So like hold on to that, but make sure it doesn't go into that other territory of like, now it's this critic who's delivering hard facts about why you shouldn't move forward.
Yeah. It boils down back to self leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Like a good leader asks good questions and regulates and guides and then lets go.
Yes.
You want to
Regulates,
lead
guides,
yourself.
and makes the final decision too. Like you're the CEO here.
Yeah. You're
So
going to the dinner. Like you're going. That's it.
yeah.
We've
Yep.
decided.
We're going. This is my
Um,
thing. I
yeah.
get to decide. Like I'm going.
You're reminding me of the work of Byron Katie, and she talks about like, is it true? Like questioning our own thoughts. Like, yeah, I'm just antisocial, or I'm an introvert. Is it true? Yeah, it's true. I'm an introvert. Okay, how do you absolutely know it's true?
Yeah, what evidence do I have to support that?
Because I get nervous when I go, so you're not an introvert. You labeled it as such to give yourself an excuse. You
Yes.
actually are just nervous about going out. Okay,
Yeah.
why am I nervous? And now, like, it takes like
Uh-huh.
7 questions, I think, is her thing of just questioning your own bullshit answers
Yeah.
to get to the truth.
I
and
love that.
and our egos do it to protect ourselves. Like,
Yeah.
everyone out there, we all do it. So, like, the
Yeah.
people behind the mics, the people on stage, the people on TV, everyone has self-doubt all the time.
Mhm.
So what you're telling me, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's a constant questioning and leading myself in every moment,
Yeah. It's the clarity piece.
and there's no
So
end,
and there's
right?
no end. There's not
Yes.
you get better at it. It becomes like a process that just happens naturally where
Yeah.
you're like, oh, instead of like being this like nebulous, all consuming, I'm nervous, like that's problematic because as soon as you say I'm nervous, like your brain biologically is going to be like, all right, shut it down, get out of there. If you're scared,
Fight or
you're in
flight.
danger, get out of there.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't want to be so quick to label it that way. Like one of my mentors, and she's an amazing local like vocal empowerment coach, Lex Vernon.
Okay.
She says the last thing you want to do when you're experiencing any kind of sensation is be quick to label it fear, because that's when, your brain's just going to try to rush in and protect you from that situation. But it might actually just be your cue to, it's your time to speak up about something that's important.
Hmm. You just reframed, what people interpret as fear to empower them.
Yeah.
Nerves aren't
It's all
fear.
reframing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I know real estate agents and entrepreneurs we deal with is overwhelm, which, even, if you're not a business person and you're overwhelmed just by going to the grocery store, for example. But speaking to people who feel that, what are some practical ways we can, shrink that gap from feeling like completely overwhelmed to knowing where to start?
Yeah, it kind of depends on like what the source of that is and like what specifically is happening, because a lot of times the overwhelm, like when I think about stress, like there's always like the event itself or the thing itself that's making you feel stressed or making you feel overwhelmed. And then there's also like all the other things we pile on top of it, like our narrative about it and why, what that means about ourselves. And, you're attaching all of these other statements and ideas behind it and like how you should be behaving and why you're a failure for feeling this way. And like, we end up like digging ourselves a deeper hole than we even need to be in.
And overwhelming ourselves.
Yeah. So the overwhelm is often a state of like spiraling out of control. And that's when you kind of need to pause and like reset and do the clarity of mind piece, like really question what exactly is coming up for you.
Hmm.
And this is where journaling could be really helpful activity for, because if you think about it works for overwhelm, it also works for self-doubt. If you think about an emotionally abusive relationship, right, they do their abusing in private, and then in public they're doing reputation management. They want to appear good. So the act of journaling in this case is kind of that public exposure piece where you're exposing like what exactly has me overwhelmed, like listing it out and getting very clear about it. So instead of being in this like vague sense of overwhelm, like what's gotten me overwhelmed? Are we clear on that? Or what is this um, self-doubt actually telling me? Or what is this nervousness? Like, what do I mean by nervous? Where am I actually feeling that? Like,
Mm.
we need to get a lot more specific in the clarity of mind piece in order to have something like tangible to work with. Because I think what's happening is where it's a similar situation where like you've attached a definition on yourself, like I'm just overwhelmed, and like now you're going to be in that loop now instead of like really getting clear on like where do I need to be, how do I like unspiral this mess.
Yeah.
So writing it down helps, and then sort of like getting into the process of like reframing or
Yeah. just
unraveling
just like you're
that.
saying about being nervous or fear, the brain and the body immediately reacts to, if you say I'm overwhelmed, then all these biological things happen to make you feel more overwhelmed.
Yeah, your brain is on the same team as you. It wants you to be right. So when you give it information, it does a really good job at, validating that information. So
Okay, let's reframe that to be positive. So I start to feel, I'm a real estate agent. I've got a listing appointment coming up. I haven't run my comps. I don't know my market stats. I got a buyer calling me who wants to see a house. At the same time, I got the listing appointment. And of course, I got 3 text messages, one from an appraiser, one from an inspector. And I'm like, overwhelmed. What do I do?
mhm.
Real life situation. So reframe that. Give me some practical steps.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a matter of like knowing where your priorities are, like what really warrants like my top attention right now, like
Yeah,
what's the most important thing. And to me, like in real estate's one of those professions, it's like very relationship heavy. Correct me if I'm wrong.
you are correct.
But it seems to me like an example of like what are my how do I approach prioritizing that is like where are the people at? Like
Mm,
and kind of really making sure you're prioritizing based on those
relationships.
relationships, the
Yeah.
things that are like really like the point here. You
Yeah.
know, it's not like it's one of those, it's almost paradoxical, right? Because real estate like has an outcome driven
Hmm.
thing. Like you want to make a sale, you want to close the deal.
Well, actually, I think you want to make people happy. Like, at least for
Exactly.
me,
That
yeah.
was my
Sorry to
that was what I was
steal your
hoping you would
thunder.
say.
Yeah, that's why I ask these questions. I'm here to learn. I'm not the host. This is a free school for me. Like, yeah, I would think, okay, so who of these people are my priority? And, sorry for everyone out there listening, but I got, you're ranked. Like, in that situation, right? Appraiser, inspector, sorry, I love you, but getting back to you later because, like, you're not my client.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I have an appointment with so and so that I've already set. That's number one. Like, that's because
Mhm.
they've set an appointment with me. They're my priority. The person who wants to set an appointment is second. So then I'd message them and say, thank you so much. Would love to. I have a prior appointment. I will reach out to you right after, or I'd schedule them for another date. Boom.
Yeah.
Now you're taken care of. And now it's like, okay, priority. Human number one,
Uh-huh.
the one I booked an appointment with. Let me
Yeah.
take care of that person.
Right.
And
And that's
then
where that's like really what leading by your priorities or by your values like really looks like in action.
you
Is
just
like
made me answer my own
you're right.
question.
And as somebody who has been one of your real estate clients,
Yes.
I knew you would answer it that way because I can attest that like it was a very like human-y experience, like working with you. It wasn't this transactional, like these are the steps we take to close a deal in a house. It was like very like there was like this presence in the journey
Yeah.
that I've always like valued and remembered. And that's what's got me referring people back. Like
Yeah.
that's what sticks.
The humanness.
The humanness. It's always
Yeah.
about the humanness. So knowing what the priority is and if it's relationships, like making your decisions that way. And not getting so caught up in like the taskmaster mode of like I have to do all the things. It's like how
Mm.
can I just like one of my favorite sayings, I wish I knew exactly how to attribute this.
We love
But
butchering quotes on this
yeah.
podcast. Go for it.
But it's like master all the trades, like get all the techniques down, but when you're in front of another human, just be a human.
Yeah. Right.
Which I think is so relevant to all professions, but especially one like real estate, where it's just like, how can you actually just connect with this person and like
Yeah.
forget about the, I
The
mean, obviously you have to
process.
get your tasks done too, but like, how
Yeah.
can you just kind of connect instead of being in your head about all the tasks you need to do?
Yeah. When we teach like scripts in real estate, there, it's very, because there is a process and there's things you should say and not say and when to say them. But I always have the visual of it's not a linear thing, going back to that too, where process A through Z. There's A, B, and then at B, we're gonna like talk about B, and maybe you tell me a story about your grandma's house and her inspection, her windows, and then we come back to the dot, and then we move on to C. Like that's the human part, where we're gonna just
Mm-hmm.
be humans and
It's a
connect
windy
over,
road.
yeah,
Yeah.
over an inspection. It's not just like, okay, next,
I
because
like
that just
that.
feels terrible.
Yeah.
And it ends up being like, petals on a flower is how I look at it, or a stem with leaves on it. And we always
Uh-huh.
come back to the line, but by all means, take a loop. Like,
Yeah. Take the scenic route.
yeah. And it just like makes it more fun.
Yeah.
It totally does.
Yeah. Those are the moments that really people remember. I'm curious how you like provide guidance on like generally what to say or do without like getting people in this space where they feel like they have to be scripted or
Yeah. I mean, so you provide the scripts, is what you said earlier. You study the scripts, you know them, and then you go be human.
nice.
Like, yeah, it's memorize what to say. And my number one thing is, especially if you're new, the number one script you should say is, I don't know, good question, I'll get back to you. The
Mm-hmm.
worst thing
Great
you can
one.
do is make it up and fake it.
Yes, agreed.
People sense that and lose all confidence in you moving forward. You think you look confident and you think you look cool because you
Yeah.
answered the question because you're the real estate
No.
professional.
You look way cooler when you're real.
Yeah. When you're like, I don't know.
When you're a real
That's a
person. Do
good
not fake it
question.
until you make it.
Yeah. Not at all. I mean, a little bit, you got it. But yeah, it's honesty. It's just honesty.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. I always say, how do you want to be treated as a customer? It's the golden rule, you know. It's very
Mhm.
simple. Like, do you want somebody to make it up, or do you want them to say, I don't know, I'll get back to you? And just think about, you don't look weak, you look strong. You're actually building confidence with that person that they can trust you.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm big on scripts. I study them, I practice them, and then I throw them away. Like, and it's just they're in
Mhm.
there,
Yeah.
you know, but I don't force them to
And then
come
like
out.
the delivery, the time, the extent to which you deliver them, like all of that
Yeah.
is context specific.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately one of my like favorite scripts on just showing homes, I'm just like, how do you feel? Like after like three houses, like I just want to check in,
Yeah.
you know, before we go on to the next house, linear, bang, bang, bang. I'm like, let's chill. How are you feeling
Mhm.
about this so far?
Yeah.
Open-ended question. Because just about it, it's a journey of discovery. Because real
Right.
estate's an emotional process. It's not a transactional
Yeah.
one. So some people are like, my feet hurt. I want to stop. Or like this is like overwhelming me. Okay. And then asking if
Yeah.
what about this is overwhelming?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, what I love about that is it's not so scripty as it is just like it's genuine connection.
Yeah. People
It's like,
first.
yeah, because you don't know what they're gonna say back to you, but you're not sitting there like, well, now what am I gonna say next? Like, you don't know what they're gonna say.
That would be another good piece of advice, is actually listen to the answer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Stop thinking about what you're
So
going to say
that's
next.
yeah. So to me, that's like not so scripted, and
Yeah.
it's more of a commitment to the present, to the person, like genuinely connecting with the
Yeah.
person.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say maybe my scripts are more questions, honestly.
Yeah.
And just
I like
thinking of a
that.
recent example where somebody's like, well, you know, what do you think of the backyard? And I'll just be like, well, what about the backyard is important to you? Like, because it doesn't matter what
Mm.
I think. Like, I think it is like there's too many plants because I take care of my own yard, but maybe you love plants and you want to, you know, so it's like
Yeah.
to just answer my opinion of a yard is I need to know like what matters about a yard to you. And
Yeah.
if you're
I
like,
like
oh,
that.
like I hate landscaping, then I'll be like, well, then this yard sucks.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
somebody who's like, I love landscaping, I'll be like, this is the lush, beautiful garden. Because it
Yeah.
is both things to different people,
So
you know?
true. Yeah. Cause,
Yeah.
and you're right. It is like an emotional journey. There's always like some kind of emotional strings attached when you're making a big move, like whether you're moving from somewhere else or it's your first, like there's a lot of like emotional baggage that can come up like in that process. I'm sure like it is a very emotional game.
Yep.
And I know that my husband and I actually reflected on this recently as the experience working with you, because I remember his first move being kind of a tumultuous kind of period of transition for him.
Right.
And like around that same time, something happened with the buyer where he was like, or the seller, I mean, where he was delaying the process. Like he wanted to wait to the very last opportunity and it delayed the sale or something.
Yeah. I
And
think his walkthrough or something, he wouldn't let him in for a walkthrough, maybe.
yeah, because he just wanted to delay the whole process. And that like really affected his transition timeline. And like it became this kind of like emotional breaking point. And instead of doing like what some realtors might do, like, oh, well, hang on, don't back out. Like, I need to make the sale. You served as like a mirror for him and was just like, it sounds like you're really going through a lot of stress right now, or something to that effect. Like, he didn't hire a therapist, but he got one.
Part of the job.
Yeah, but that stuck with him. That moment of like, he didn't try to like confirm or deny my experience. He just kind of sat with me and was like, I see what you're going through, and
Yeah.
you were just a human with him.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Thanks. I don't
always
remember
works.
that. See, that's a
I know,
beautiful
it's fun to
thing.
reflect on that with
It
him.
is. Thank you. It means a lot to me because I think I was just being me, you know.
You were.
And you know, so okay, don't fake it till you make it. You said that before. If you're a person out there who is not that person, and you're like, I just want my check, well, maybe you can fake it a little to like care about that person. Just lean into it, maybe instead of fake it.
Try. Yeah.
Yeah, just hear that story that Lisa is saying, that I was that person for somebody and you refer me business, right? So
Yeah.
like if you're out there looking for business, lean into the kindness and the humanness of this experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you're afraid
Yeah.
of AI taking your job, well, they might if all you are is a robotic linear
Yeah.
salesperson.
This is your unique edge, dude. Like, don't lose that.
So
And yeah.
shifting gears, you've worked with a lot of leaders on like clarifying their message. I know in the nonprofit space, in the education
Oh yeah.
space, like you're really big on word choice and communication. Quick ask, if you haven't yet, hit follow or subscribe. It helps us grow and bring you even better content. Now, back to the episode. How does somebody know they are speaking like the correct words or speaking their correct truth versus scripts or what they think they're supposed to
Mm-hmm.
say?
I love
Give us a
that.
tip.
Yes, I love this question because one, You don't know. You don't have to know because it's not about word choice so much as it is like that clarity of thought piece. So if you're in a situation and you're finding yourself freezing a lot, like I don't know what to say, it's probably because you're not clear on what you're thinking. So it's hard to speak or even take action if we're not thinking clearly. So normally it's not I need the right words, but rather it's I need clarity of what I'm trying to express.
Mm,
And then the words tend to flow naturally if you're clear on what's important to you. So it's less a practice of like studying the right words and it's more a practice of like getting clear on what you want to convey.
yeah. And I think a lot of that comes from the heart.
Mhm.
I heard a guy say on Instagram, but it's not all bad. But like the phrase "think before you speak" is not a good phrase. Thinking thoughts, jumbled words,
Yeah.
trying to find the right words. Forget that. He's like, breathe before you speak. And he says,
Ooh.
breathe into your heart space, which is basically just when you take a deep breath, you're thinking about your heart. So if
Mhm.
everyone can try that now, just take a deep breath in and you think of your heart instead of your lungs, and then breathe out, and words will start to flow because you've now just like
Yeah.
calmed your nervous energy. You've gotten out of your head, and you're now talking
Mhm.
from your heart, and now you actually
Yes.
feel.
So important. Yeah, we actually don't do our best clarifying while we're up in the chaos of our own thoughts.
Hmm.
Sometimes it takes making sure you're taking up space in your whole entire body or being in the room you're in or being with the person you're in. Like all of that like anxious overthinking is cuz you're up in here in your head.
Yeah.
And when you are out in the environment that you're in and trying to connect with another human,
Hmm.
that's going to take the edge off automatically because it's not so much about yourself and how you're
Yeah.
performing and how you're looked and how you're looking and how you're liked and it's exhausting.
It is.
And like it's just like it's not about you.
Yeah. I find like meditation has been huge for me for all of that. It's just a self awareness of like taking a breath, like a lot of guided meditations. I'm into guided. It's like, yeah, breathe into your belly or breathe into your chest, into your neck, and focusing on different parts of your body as you breathe. And you start to feel your
Mhm.
own energy field and like you feel you in a soul level, like who you actually are, not
Yeah.
who you think you are or who you want to be.
Yeah, or who you
And
expected to be or how you should be. Yeah.
it's that easy. I mean, it really is that easy. Like I think we, as a perfectionist, as somebody who's like loves to grind and work hard and want to win every single time, it's
Yeah.
been good for me to be like, or not, it's okay. Like I don't
Yeah.
have to
We're the
because
same.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Like I'm good. If I lose, that's cool.
Mhm.
Like nothing to
And
do with me.
I do want to point out that meditation, I think, and breath work, any kind of grounding activity, even more so than self awareness, that's self leadership, baby. That's you
Yeah.
like those activities are definitely like that's self leadership. That's self control. That's emotional regulation. These are actions more so than introspection.
Yeah, we are alike in that way. You're a hustler, but you like how do we balance hustle and health? How do we balance
Mm,
striving for perfection and being okay with ourselves? I mean, it's kind of on the opposite ends, and you know that over effort can, I don't know, maybe widen the gap,
yeah,
the
yeah,
effort gap.
yeah,
Do you
for
think
sure.
like if
It
too much
does.
effort makes the gap bigger?
Yeah, so here's the thing. It's everything is it's a spectrum and it's so basically I draw this from Aristotle called this the golden mean. And he basically presented virtues or values on this spectrum between excess and deficit. So ambition is one of my core values. Like I've always seen myself as a very ambitious person. Like I've defined myself that way my whole life.
Hmm.
But with increased mindfulness over time, sometimes I realize that ambition means I have to do it all on my own. Sometimes ambition meant, uh, does everyone like me? Or do I need to succeed at all costs? You know, and just like that, now this seemingly inherently good value of ambition could cause harm. So that's why I think Aristotle presented it that way, to where it's not this question of what's the most ambitious thing I can do here, but rather what degree of ambition is this moment calling for? And it's a spectrum. So a deficit in ambition might be apathy. Like I'm not going to take any action where the situation might benefit from my action. Like I just don't care. The excess is obviously like workaholism, like you're going to fry yourself to the point where you are not helpful to yourself or anybody else.
Done that.
So
Guilty.
here we have the same outcome, but for two completely different reasons.
Yeah.
And both cause harm. Ambition is that entire space in between.
Hmm.
And you use discernment and consideration of like this very specific details, context, people involved, consequences to determine what level of ambition is needed. Is this in my scope? Does this align to my priorities? Who can I call on for help here? Um, like then you make the decision of how
Yeah.
much
Or
you
is it
need.
all on me and I do have to go all out on this one? Or is that
Yeah.
never a good idea?
Which you're more likely to default to if you're approaching things with how can I do the most ambitious thing here? What's the ambitious thing to do? Like
Versus what degree of ambition is needed.
is needed
I
in
like
this
that.
particular situation.
I like that. I will say you're encouraging people to reach out in the community and connect. And a lot of times we get nervous to do so, maybe fear of rejection, lack of self esteem, things we talked about. But I can almost guarantee that friend, that person you're going to call, it
Hmm.
has the same exact feelings.
Yeah.
Like that they think no one wants to hang out with them. And by you calling and saying, let's go hang out, like you've just erased all the fear for them. So
Yes.
your fear is unfounded, and you've also exposed that their fear is unfounded. And then
Yeah.
why don't we invite Jim and Jane? And then all of a sudden it becomes a thing, and everyone's out and happy because you started that domino
Uh-huh.
with that one call.
Yeah. And you made somebody feel thought about. I think like one of the dangers of our culture right now is like the overuse of cringe. Like, don't be cringe. Like, and I'm just like, I think that's also like what's stopping a lot of people. Like, I don't want to be like this cringy person who like cares about people. Ew. Like, it's so dangerous to be like under this microscope of like, don't be awkward, don't be cringe. Like, oh my gosh, just like allow yourself. Like, even if it's awkward, like let yourself be awkward in front of another awkward person, and then bond about how awkward you both are and laugh
Yeah.
about it. Like,
Yeah.
just be a person.
Be you.
Yeah, like
I think that has a lot to do with fear of being judged,
yeah,
being memed, being, labeled.
it's always some kind of fear, and it's always about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, it's never about like, well, what might this person actually mean?
Yeah, I
Need.
mean, and if you feel if you're new to town, you don't have friends. I mean, like there's physical meetups. You and I are big on like community outreach. Here at the Mindful Agent and about Magenta, like we talk about contributing and legacy. So, how do you view that connection between my own personal well-being, getting out of my shell, making me feel good, with contributing to our larger community here?
Yeah, they're intrinsic. They are tied together. It's not this like here's my well-being and then here's community. How do I bridge it? Like no, your well-being requires connection. So it has to be like uh integrated into your life. Like whatever you're doing right now, where's the opportunity to connect? And yeah, just like bringing that lens to the work or to whatever it is you're doing, and having that be something that you stick with over different circumstances over time, right? Like it's
Mhm.
not about all right, I went to a mixer this month, I did my connection thing and I'm done. Like this is about like integrating that into your life as like a general practice, a lens through which you view, you know, life.
Yeah,
Like where's my opportunity to connect with a person?
yeah, we're all one. And I think when you connect with the communities, with strangers especially, you realize that.
Mhm. So I think the formula for not necessarily like being happy, but for, living in a way that feels right for the phase you're in, like at any given time, like that clarity of mind, that ability to lead yourself through difficulty or any situation really, and then connecting with people along the way. Like these are the things that are going to make you feel fulfilled in life. Like
Yeah.
these are the things that bring us joy.
So if you're feeling lonely, first of all, you're obviously not alone in that feeling.
Right.
And I would encourage anyone feeling that to just take one small step.
Yeah. Send the first text, plan the hangout, show up to the things you say you're going to show up to. Like it's simple, sustainable efforts, not like massive hard work that we're talking
Mhm.
about here. Just the little things.
If you've lost connection with friends, instead of saying I lost my connection with friends, say I've had connections with friends. I've done that. I know I can do it.
Hmm.
I'm confident to do it again.
I like that.
It's just a
Yeah.
repackaging.
Repackaging and again, like a process of reduction more so than adding more. Like you don't need to be more prepared, more skilled, more, you don't need more knowledge. Like apply what you know adapt it to different situations. And then that's what will accelerate your growth and fulfillment.
Perfect. Let's slide into quick fire wisdom.
All right.
Same 5 questions we ask all our guests. Quick 1 word to 1 sentence answers. Are you ready?
Woo. All right, let's go.
What's the one habit you've developed that has made the biggest difference in your day-to-day life?
Doing stuff even when I don't feel like it.
Every day? Day to day?
Kinda.
Good. Like coming on this podcast. Question 2. Do you have a favorite quote or mantra that you live by?
It's not a difficult thing unless you decide it's a difficult thing. Otherwise, it's just the next thing you're figuring out.
Man.
That's the effort gap, is like the figure out ability of everything. Like just that commitment to just going in there and figuring it out instead of like, well, nobody told me.
That's an excuse versus self-leadership.
Yeah, it's just an opt-out.
I believe I'll figure it out when it comes. I like that. Question number 3. Which book has played a significant role in contributing to your personal growth?
I think I've made it clear that Aristotle resonates with me. His book, Nicomachean Ethics. I hope I said that properly. I never said it out loud until now. It's like my Bible. And then again, I recommend anything from Ryan Holiday.
Okay.
Like, special shout out to Stillness is Key, but all of his books are great.
Cool. Someone I never heard of. So thank you. We'll put that in the show notes. What's your favorite app or tool for productivity?
Honestly, I don't have a fun, fancy answer for you. Like Google Calendar is my boy. Like that's it. I swear by it.
There's no bonus points for creativity on that question.
Nothing fancy. Like I don't need very many tools in my life. Google Calendar
keeps you productive.
Yeah.
And lastly, what's your go-to way to unwind after a long day?
Like literally like laying on the couch with my dogs.
Perfect.
Only quick answer I had on all of those.
How many dogs are we up to now?
4.
4.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nice. That's a nice way to end the day and a nice way to end the podcast. Yeah. Thanks very much, Lisa.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right. Before we wrap up today's episode, I invite you into a short mindful moment. Lisa talked about the effort gap, that space between knowing what we want and actually moving toward it. She reminded us that clarity doesn't mean having every answer, but having the courage to act even when things feel uncertain. So wherever you are, pause for a moment. Close your eyes if you can. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it fully. Now, ask yourself, what's one small action I can take today, one tiny effort that brings me closer to how I want to show up in my life and in my business? It doesn't have to be big. It could be sending that one text, making that one call, taking a short walk outside, or simply choosing to be fully present in your next conversation. Every small step you take shrinks the distance between where you are and you're becoming. But remember, you are perfect just as you are, and you are capable of handling every situation in the moment. Take one more deep breath and let it go. Until next time, remember, success starts within. Thanks for joining me on this journey today. I'm Michael Coxon, and this is The Mindful Agent. Join me next time as we continue to explore the intersection of real estate, health, and mindfulness. Looking to grow your real estate career? At Magenta Real Estate, we put you first. Our entire business is built around your well-being and your success. With 100% commission, powerful marketing tools, and a supportive community that truly cares. Success starts within. Visit joinmagenta.realestate today.